information management. Okay, I put that kind of really underneath. Really, it's kind of working with your knowledge management system, works with your information management, of course. And this is where you generate, obtain, conform, transform, retain, retrieve, disseminate, and dispose of information to designated stakeholders. Now, information needs to be unambiguous, complete, verifiable, consistent, modifiable, traceable, presentable, and it can be technical, project-oriented, organizational. It can even be process or project-oriented, or even from the system. That's where the information can be derived from. And also, it can be provided in a relevant, timely, complete, valid, confidential way. And it also must be properly stored, maintained, secured, and assessed when needed. So with that in mind, the idea of having this information which exists in many different forms, it's kind of one of those aspects that a company needs in order to try to stay ahead of the competition. So normally you have information, which is what an organization and its employees know. Though that information, if it can be put into a tangible form, it now is an asset. Even the intangible information can be an asset. It could be drawings, it could be memos, databases. So you have information that are assets to the thing, and they need to be secure. So you have information security, which is that confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information needs. And you need some kind of management, which is the control aspects to that security for those assets, for that information. And that information security management includes any policies, practices, or procedures, or structures, or even software that's in place in order to manage the security of the information. The other thing is having a system. And you would build the system probably pretty much what we're showing you here. Get the requirements, build that thing, implement it, manage it, make sure it's happening. So you need a system in order to do the management, in order to make sure your security of your assets for your information is in place. All right. So what this process is going to do is actually manage all the information throughout the life cycle, no matter where it's coming from, especially for mechanisms like risk, decision making, and configuration management, all heavy information outputs that need to be captured. So here's your IPO. This is not that bad of a one. You actually have candidate information coming in, and project change requests. They come in as well to capture that. So you prepare for information management, and then you perform it, and then your output is your strategy and repository, as well as your report and record. So information, any candidate information items, it can come from anywhere, can originate anywhere in the life cycle, and they have to come in. Now, project change requests come in to update some formal baselines, which are part of your, that actually come in and are the part of your information system has that baseline information. So you prepare and establish your actual, you prepare your information management aspect, and that's where your strategy and your repository come into place. And then you actually perform information management by actually making sure, your security is in place, privacy, retrieval, even archival, disposal aspects. All that leads to your report to explain where you are in the information management process, and also a record that goes into knowledge management. Notice both the repository and record go to project assessment and control. So you should have a plan that's developed during your project planning process. Try to identify the information risk artifacts that could be turned into these assets we talked about. And of course, your data repositories are, be it email or web-based access to internets, whatever data repositories that you capture. And there are some standards there for getting system engineering and information security management of your information in place. Let's look at some concepts here. You maintain an archive of any information that's produced throughout the life cycle, and you have an information management plan that actually describes what that means, or how you would go about to achieve that purpose. So your scope, your resources and personnel, your task, rights, obligation, and commitments for the parties that are going to use the information management system, your tools, processes, standards, whatever it takes. And of course, typical information can be source documents from stakeholders, your planning meetings, your engineering analysis, your configuration management style files, whatever information is out there you would do. And of course, there's increased concern when you start thinking about databases, trying to keep track of your decision gate reviews and decisions throughout your life cycle, your requirements. Tools usually are a database, your computer-based training and interactive user manuals may be in a database, your websites, shared information. There are standards that help you actually use that data throughout its life cycle, and you can do that as you go forward.